Sales training is full of gimmicks. It's full of silver bullets. It's full of the top 5 ways to do this and that. The problem is that never got anybody to the point where they were a top performer. What's up? It's your boss, Greg Ross. What I want you to do is go through this checklist and stack yourself up against these categories and see where you stand. First, key area is create a hypothesis. So that's a scary word for some of us who didn't get an A in science class. But a hypothesis means simply you need to have a position on why your offering is so valuable to them and what challenge specifically you think your offering can help them overcome. You have to do a little digging to figure out what it is that they're trying to accomplish and what might be standing in the way of them accomplishing those goals. And whatever that is that's standing in the way, that's what you need to be able to prove to them that you can help them overcome through the use of your solution. Nobody ever wakes up in the morning wanting to buy software or technology. They wake up in the morning wanting to solve challenges. And what we found is that 70% of buyers make purchase decisions for one goal so that they can solve problems, so that they can solve challenges. So when you create a hypothesis for every opportunity that you're working, and you get really good at being able to simply explain your position on why you think your offering is valuable and helps solve that challenge, you've got a huge leg up because now you are in tune with the 70% of buyers that are looking to do just that. So your outcomes are aligned. You're not selling them your offering based off of what it is or what it does, but what they can do with it, what it means to them, what they can accomplish through the use of your offering, your product, your service. On to the next one. This is really cool. This is what I call Trident prospecting. So imagine in your mind that you're holding this Trident. This is a really cool 3-prong weapon. It's got 3 sharp points. Now imagine you're trying to catch fish with that thing. You start breaking off some of those prongs. Well, it's going to be harder to catch fish. That's the exact same concept that we're using here. You have 3 sharp prongs when it comes to generating new pipeline for yourself. When it comes to prospecting, you have the phone, you have your email, and what I call social, or specifically your LinkedIn account. Those are the 3 prongs that you have on your Trident that will actually open a conversation and initiate a conversation with those people. I put some figures down here in terms of how many meetings I think you could get per every 100 activities with each one of those prongs. Bottom line is this: if you're fully comfortable and committed, the key here is to commit fully to using all 3 of those prongs, and then you're 30 to 60% more effective at building new pipeline. What difference does that make? Well, it makes a big difference, because if you're really on top of your game, you're closing a percentage of your pipeline. The bigger your pipeline is, the more deals you're closing. You'd be amazed and shocked and horrified at how many salespeople I talk to not committed to a LinkedIn strategy, not sending messages to anybody. They're not posting anything. They're not making cold calls because they don't feel comfortable on the phones. If that's you and all you're doing is blasting out a ton of emails because it's quick and easy, you are fishing with a 1-prong Trident. We want to get you comfortable and committed to a 3-prong approach to prospecting. And when you do that, your pipeline is going to grow significantly. All right, let's go down to the next one. The buying committee is a term that I use for all of the people who are involved in a purchasing or a buying decision. Now, I've made a little chart here that you can see with the CXO there. The contract is probably going to him for signature or one of his deputies, right? The SVP or one of the VPs. So you've got several levels of influence and authority within the organization. Now, here's the thing. Years ago, this didn't matter nearly as much, but today, most of the people that work for these organizations that are buying software, that are buying technology, that are buying your products and services are millennials. How many of you millennials out there have been shopping for something and you go and you read through all the reviews first, or you're looking for a restaurant to eat at and you read through all the reviews? So that's the same way that they decide how to purchase your software. They're going to want to look at the reviews. They're going to want to talk to other people that have used it. But they make their decisions, their purchasing decisions, in a buying committee format. Now, it's actually smart. If you're a buyer, the risk of making a bad decision because nobody can say, oh, Greg's the one that wanted this software, right? No, you brought everybody into the decision. You brought your manager in, you brought their director in, the VP was on the calls, right, looking at the product. But what we want to do on the seller side is we want to be multi-threaded. What that is it's identifying all of those people who could be in the buying committee up front and making sure that we are looping them in on the calls, asking for them by name to join each sequential call, getting them caught up with a recap. What we found through multi-threading is that you're 40 to 70% more likely to close the deal. If you have at least 3 people involved in the decision, representing a minimum of 2 different departments, one of whom has the authority over the budget. This is really an important area where you need to evaluate your opportunities. Are you single-threaded? Are you talking to the same person call after call? And if you are, and if you're not getting at least 20% of those opportunities that you had discovery calls with to close and to win, that could be a big part of your problem. You're single-threaded, and we need to get you multi-threaded. The next section, solution selling. You hear it called insight selling, where you do some research. You come with a hypothesis on what critical goal or challenge you're able to impact with your offering, right? Your product or your service. What I've found by coaching top performing account executives is that the really good account executives, between the time they have the initial discovery conversation call and the time that they ask for the signature on the contract, they have identified 2 to 3 minimum critical goals or challenges that they're able to solve or impact with their solution. You should be able to prove to them, and they should believe you, that you can solve 2 to 3 critical pain points or challenges, right? Now, you should not be telling them this. They should be telling you. So, a little pro tip at the end of every call, ask them for their thoughts. Ask them to talk about how they can see this solving some of their challenges, right? Jim, let me ask you this. Can you see, based off the demo I did, how we'd be able to help you solve that challenge you talked about earlier where you didn't have visibility into your data? And then Jim says something hopefully like this. Yeah, Greg, I can see it. I'm a believer. I'm really excited about this, and I definitely can see how this is going to help us solve that challenge. When you get to that point where the customer, the prospect, is telling you that they understand how you're solving their challenges, their pain points, you're closing a lot more deals statistically. You're probably at least 50% more likely to close the deal. Most of the time, I've seen like an 80% uplift in close won rates based off of getting them to what we call co-author, the fact that they can see that you're solving those challenges, overcoming those pain points. All right, finally, just like a good doctor checks your pulse every time you come in for an appointment, this is the heart rate of your funnel. You should be closing at least 20% of the opportunities that you have a discovery call with, okay? If you're really good, that number might go up to 30%. So if you're a poor performer, you're probably closing less than 10% of your deals. Out of every 10 deals that you're working, you're probably closing less than 10%. If that's you, we need to talk, okay? But don't worry, I got you. If you're an average performer, you might be closing 10 to 15% of your deals, right? Out of every 10, you might be closing 1 to 1.5. If you're a top performer, you're closing 2 to 3 out of every 10. And that's the goal, right? Because when we get you there, where you have a 20 to 30% close rate on your opportunities, then you're making money. And when you're making money, guess what you can do? You can start putting that money into an investment form to get you where you want to be in terms of your personal goal, your personal why, that one thing that you're looking to do. Break out of the 9 to 5, right? No longer be shackled by the chains of an employer. You're going to be like me, chilling at home, sipping a coffee, putting together some fun content, managing your business, and you're going to be free. And oh, it feels so good. Free indeed. Free at last. I want you guys to think about this, okay? Now, if that's not you, if you're not at the 20 to 30% closed won rate on your opportunities, it's okay. I got you. I want you to click on the link on this infographic. I want you to request a free consultation, and I'll be happy to sit down with you. We can go over what you're doing today. It's a free initial consultation, complimentary, but I have some great packages prepared that can help get you from 0 to hero, from where you are now to being a top performer in sales. And guys, I've been through the journey. I've been through the transformation. I've been through the process personally. I know how much it means to you to be successful. I want to help you. Okay.